eventually they made capsule formulation and tablets, and it was so much better. But still, it was 28 tablets. Plus, when you go on treatment, you often get side effects. And you get the nausea and the sickness, you feel tired, you know, and it's quite difficult to continue to take tablets, a treatment, when it's making you feel worse than what you were before you took the tablets. And the other thing that happened was I came out in this rash, a scarlet rash, like your jumper, you know, all over, everywhere. And it itched. It itched like I cannot tell you. I can't. It's so difficult to describe that you think itching is nothing. Well, let me tell you, if you itch all over and it's 24/7, then it drives you bloody crazy. It just drives you crazy. And it was like I'd be like this all the time. I showered 6, 7 times a day. I put emollients on. Nothing touched it. And you reach a level after about 2 months of this where you're sort of numb and you're just going through doing your daily routine and you're not even thinking about it. And then about a week after that, you get a week of that, which is not too bad. It's quite pleasant, really, because then you don't notice that you're scratching all the time and like this. And then it comes back with a vengeance. And it just drives you crazy. And I think if it had gone on beyond 3 months, I don't think I'd have carried on with the treatment. And I think a lot of people, when they start treatment, it's one of the reasons why they fail. Because and I had it easy. I know people that had 18 months of side effects. I only had 3 months. Then I guess because my body likes drugs, I got used to it and it was fine. So I stayed on that treatment for a while, and then, because I've also got Hep C, so it's just one of the things that junkies have, and I was worried about my liver. In fact, it got to a point where I was more concerned about the state of my liver and 56 tablets a day than I was about the HIV. So I chose to change my combination. And I'm now on a drug called Trizivir. Trizivir is a combination of 3 drugs, including a small amount of AZT. But I chose to go on to change my drugs, not because I built up an immunity. So if other drugs fail, at least 2 of those combinations, because when you build up an immunity to drugs, to HIV drugs, you build up an immunity to the family of those drugs. So whilst there might be a lot of drugs, you know, it might be a whole range, that very soon narrows once you start to build immunity up, which is why you need 2nd line, 3rd line, and then recovery therapy. So I'm on Trizivir, and Trizivir is fine for me. It works. I mean, some of the side effects would be you get this hump on your back, which I'm pretty sure I haven't got. And, you know, you can lose a lot of weight in your face. It's called lipodystrophy. Same as this is called lipodystrophy. And I think, but I'm naturally thin anyway. So, and you know, as I'm getting on a bit in age, then I think this loss of, this is nothing to do with HIV. This is just me getting old. And so I think, you know, Trizivir is fine for me. And I've been on Trizivir now for, I don't know, 6, 7 years, I suppose. And I see no reason to change at the moment. You know, my viral load is undetectable. It doesn't mean to say I don't have a viral load, but it's just below what the tests can notice. And my T cells, now for someone my age, I'm 59, for someone my age, the average in your immune system is between about 800 and 1,000. That's about average for someone who's not got a compromised immune system. Mine are 1,250, you know, after 30 years. So I guess I must be doing something right. That's the way I look at it, you know. And although I can be, you know, quite relaxed talking to you about this, please don't misunderstand, because I take it very seriously. I'm very compliant with my treatment. I look after my diet. You know, I'm not obsessive about it, but I look after my diet. And at the moment, I can still afford to buy, for example, better cuts of meat. I steam my vegetables, all that kind of thing, you know. I take the odd vitamin supplements, not too many because I don't think I need too many, and I'm not obsessive. Like I said, I still play football, so that keeps me exercised. I walk the dogs, I still work, I still keep things interested in my head. All these things help to give you a balance and to keep you strong. And they're really, really important to do. And of course, I've been involved in HIV work for 30 years, which in sense, for me, is my way of fighting the virus. You know, what I would really like to do, even after 30 years, is grab hold of the virus and smash it. That's what I'd really like to do. But I can't, can I? Because it's a virus. So being an activist and working in HIV is the nearest I can get to kicking HIV's ass. It's the very nearest I can get. And it's one of the things that drives me on. Because there's so many people in this world don't have the luxury that I've got. Not even just the treatment, but to be able to focus on myself. You know? And that's before, and just before I conclude, because I guess we're getting close to time a little bit. Just a couple of things really, because part of long-term survival of HIV is being able to focus on yourself and not letting other people drag you down. Now, I can stand here and do this to you and talk to you like this openly about it, and please don't take offense at what I'm going to say, because I don't actually care what you think of me. You know, your opinions of me are not going to affect my life. And if they did start to affect my life, I would cut you out of my life. And I've been absolutely clinical about anybody in my life that brings bullshit into it, that drags me down. I cut them out. Because I don't need to waste energy on people like that. Because I need that energy for me, to keep me alive. And the other thing is remembering that, you know, not everybody, we don't have a cure for HIV. There is no cure. I think technically there's one person that's supposed to be cured, but I say supposed to be, and I'm not sure about that even. So, you know, there is no cure at the moment, and not everybody responds well to treatment. You know, I was lucky, I do. And you know, I'm glad that I was diagnosed in the UK. I mean, God help me if I'd have been diagnosed in Kyrgyzstan or in Russia or in Angola or somewhere, you know. God help me. I wouldn't be here now. So I've been very fortunate like that, you know. And also, HIV's given me a nice career, as it goes. It's turned out quite well in the end. So really, just to conclude, I think, you know, today things are very different. And there's treatment, there's knowledge, and there's lots of ways of getting that knowledge where there was nothing. And more people, I think, are realizing that HIV equals AIDS equals death is not the only equation around. But unfortunately, countries are still run by stupid people with stupid ideas and stupid attitudes and stupid and hypocritical moralities. For example, you know, the anti-gay debate that's going on in Uganda at the moment. It's just stupid. What is the matter with these people? The opposition, which is only based on non-evidence dogma, there is not a shred of evidence that supports the war on drugs. Not a single shred of evidence says that prohibition and the war on drugs works. It's just dogma. And that harms thousands and thousands of people and puts them at risk. Like in Russia, where you can't get substitution therapy. You can't get methadone or Phyceptone. It's illegal, so they don't do it. And there's the persecution of sex workers, for example. And the lack of treatment and decent living conditions for prisoners. And the list goes on and on and on. And it ensures that HIV and AIDS will continue to go on and on. Platforms such as End Ignorance and Avaz and Change are critical, I think, in challenging the moral and dogma-driven ideology that is murdering millions of people. And I use the word murdering because that's what it is. It's just murder. And so make no mistake that despite some of the successes, and every World AIDS Day you hear from places like UNAIDS and WHO that we're making progress. And there has been progress. But the world, in my opinion, is retrenching, is going backwards. And it's going back to a time when evidence and humanity are words that have no value. They've got no value. So we still need activism. You know, we still need activism. And we need it now more than we ever did before. And if my fight, and that of thousands of people like me, is not to be for nothing, then End Ignorance, Avaz, Change, and most importantly, you and people like you can ensure that our fight has not been for nothing. So I would say get informed, get involved, and please make a difference. Thank you.